for sale.
N4LQ.
Good morning, Steve. How you doing?
Chad, I don't know. It's still too early to tell. Let me look around and see. I'll let you know.
I see. We got say Terry's named 3 times and they appear. So, there's one time.
You mean Terry?
I think so. We had to say, I think 3 times and he appears.
When I lived in, well, my wife, she grew up with a guy that lived down the road, and their last name was Terryberry, and they named the kid Terry, and his name was Terryberry.
That's something else. I've heard of Terry and heard of Barry, but I ain't heard them together.
Well, you kind of had to feel sorry for the kid.
Yep, anybody wants to in on this? You sound like something might be wrong, Billy. Hang on, try it again.
Breaking up. Must have got water in the transmitter.
I probably just didn't give it enough time to warm up.
Okay, you're here now, so make one, Billy.
Just you two? Man, everybody's being lazy tails today, eh?
Yeah, we tried to say 3 times, so we're hoping they get in here. It's like Bitterjuice, just say 3 times.
Oh, boy. Yeah, well, they'll be around. You know, it is still a few minutes before the original time. I don't know, it rained all night long. It's wet around here. Of course, I come from home to the office, so that's about almost a 30-minute drive. So anyway, a wet, soggy morning from Murphy, North Carolina. It's sure enough been a wet one. I don't know what y'all gonna have to put an order to it here directly. Anyways, one of you picks it up and carry on.
K4YBC.
Okay, yeah, I'm kind of worried about Cliff. He had the idea last night of turning on the radio, and maybe he introduced to the idea to Linda, and she didn't like it that good, and that's the end of Cliff. KM4RCL, let's see. First we put myself, then we'll put Steve, then we'll put Billy, then we'll put Cuz. So Steve, let's go ahead and we'll go that way.
WK4. All right. Good morning, Rick, Cuz, Billy, and Chad. And well, I heard some thunder last night, and I just happened to remember I forgot to pull the big switch and ground the antenna, so I had to get out of bed and work my way down here to the shack and throw the big switch, and went back to bed, and that was midnight. K04SSYN4LQ.
Alrighty. Well, good morning, Cuz, and Brother Wiki. And I don't know, I think that was Cuz that kind of doubled with Steve there for just a second. So, anyways, I won't keep rambling on, because you pick it up, give it to Rick. If nobody else comes stringing along, it'll go back up to Chadwick. K4YBC to pick it up, K04SSY.
Okay, K04SSY, K4YBC. Well, good morning to you, Bill. Good morning, Steve. Everybody on the frequency. And I got 71 degrees over here, and looks like it's going to start. It's been raining, but looks like it's going to start back up again. I took down all my shutters yesterday and painted them and got them all back up but one. I was going to do that today, but I may not get it done, so anyway. I was planning on doing some outdoor painting, but I don't think today's going to be the day to do it. Anyway, not much else going on. A lot of DX are coming in, and long skip and all that good stuff, so oh well. Good morning to you, Rick. WK4R, K4YBC.
Doug, whoa. Let's get this thing, something ain't working. Oh yeah, it is too. WK4. Let's see. Good morning, everybody. Not much to say yet, just rain and more rain. And I assume it goes to Chad, KN4STL maybe, WK4.
WB4NKL.
Yeah, plan for you. Sorry, the wind my way this morning. You might have tried to say one time about going out there and taking your equipment on like this one Saturday morning. Go ahead, Cliff.
Yes, WB4NKL. About 800 cycles low. I didn't get out here. I got out here, Chad, but I forgot to turn it on. They're calling for rain here about 10, so I left here about 15 to 7 and done my walk. Just got back. And not burn up. It's 69 degrees, but it is humid out there. It's something else on humidity. I'll send it on around, and maybe the rig will warm up by then. Won't be so low. Go ahead, Chad. KN4RCL. It's WB4NKL.
Go ahead, Jimmy, Mike 1.
Back in, I hope I'm getting out. K4JAL, having a good day. Back to you, RCL, K4JAL.
Let me about an inch, about 3085, so come down the bed a little bit and talk to us next time. KN4, I'll go ahead and say that before Terry gets in. No worries, right? You had to say his name with bitter juice, but you mean since it's solid and surely he can get in here now. So go ahead, Steve, if nobody else wants it.
Okay. Yay, Jimmy. Yeah, I heard him turn it over to you, and I couldn't hear anything, and I looked at the scope, and you were up there on 40 meters. So come on down and pay us a visit. Anyway, boy, it's dreary out there this morning. Looks like we got about 3/4 of an inch of rain over the past. Well, I think that's yesterday and last night. That wasn't too bad. And we got another big blob of yellow stuff heading this way on the radar. I guess it'll be here around noon or something like that. It looks kind of yucky. And I don't know if Dave is probably over there at the fairgrounds setting up his stuff. I know he was supposed to come down sometime today. So, anywho, I guess I'll go ahead and turn it over to Billy, KO4SSY N4LQ.
Alright, my phone in. This is where I think. I'm just not used to using that DX100 yet. That thing is super basic compared to everything else you run. I don't know, it's
Pretty good.
it's definitely got a complete different thing than the thing I'm used to. I think it's a bad thing, I'm just not used to it. It's, to me, it just don't sound like it. But I don't know, that's me. That's it. And, yeah, I'll tell you what, I gotta go try to find me some different darn shoes. My feet are wet.
My shoes are wet when I went in last night.
Grass is wet everywhere, wading water everywhere you go. It's a mess. It's, oh well. Part of it, I reckon. K4YBC to pick it up. KO4SSY. Good morning, Mr. Jimmy.
KO4SSY, K4YBC. Okay, real fine deal. Yeah, and we've gotten some rain over here. I think it's supposed to clear off maybe tomorrow. I'm thinking. I heard that. Just have to wait and see. But yeah, we got pretty good rain. I got my new gutter pipes I put up. Got a good workout. So I think they're working the way they're supposed to. Well, I'll tell you what, them things ain't cheap. But nothing is cheap anymore. There you go. I remember when I bought this house back in 1975, I think it was. I had the gutter pipes replaced, and I think they did the whole job for $250. That was back in 1975, so they've gone up a bit since then. Anyway, over to you, Rick. WK4R, K4YBC.
WK4. Well, a few things have gone up since 1975, I'll say that. Let's see. I think Steve has us live this morning. I believe I saw that come across the computer. Where's Brother Dave at this morning? And Terry, and I guess I came in too late and missed where they're at. But anyway. And Cliff, it's working good. Not your normal voice, but it's close. But like you said, it's had a little bit extra bass on it, but it's very tolerable as usual. Let's see. W4NKL, WK4.
WK4R, WB4NKL. It drifts a little bit. I'm not within 700 cycles there now. Yeah, it's I don't know. Some people like it better, and some people don't like it as much. So it's probably just going to be temporary here anyway. I'll switch over to something else in a few days. Just giving it a workout. Got the Globe King, I think, back where I can run it if I want to. Had some squealing going on, and I didn't have the shield over the final tube. I was getting RF back into stuff. Put the shield on it. I think that calmed it down. Chad, I guess you can be the frequency cop since Terry's not here, and don't give out too many speeding tickets. I'll try to get back on a synthesizer, a DDS, be on frequency. I don't know how much it rained here. Linda threw a rain gauge away. She said the stick on it broke, and we hadn't got one back to replace it. It looked like it rained quite a bit. I noticed on my walk this morning that it's one guy's driveway. It washes out in the road every time we get a heavy rain. I'm glad I don't have a rock driveway. Yeah, I see him over there with his tractor and a scraper trying to pull it back up into the driveway, and then the next big rain hits, it's back out in the road again. Good deal on the big switch. I seen that big switch on the old friends group, Steve. That looks like a Frankenstein switch there. Jimmy, I copied you pretty good on this receiver. I didn't know where you was at, but I copied you okay on the LMAC. Go ahead, K4 JAL, WB4NKL. Oh, and Rick Dave's down at Shelby.
W4NKL, K4JAL. Well, I think I'm better on frequency this time. I hope my team is hanging in. Things is rough all over for Jimmy. Anyway, I enjoy this LMAC, even though it chases me around. I'll give it to you, Chad, and you give her a shot. KN4RCL, K4JAL.
Anybody else wants in before we start to move around? Jimmy, you're a bit on frequency more than you was, so I'll see if anybody else can hear me. Nothing heard, Dave's at Shelby, and yeah. So, I consider this as vacation week, so usually I see him down at Shelby, it's like he enjoyed himself all week and being on vacation with their radios. And, I think he enjoys that more than anything. Terry must be doing some evil intelligence, all I can figure out. Over there in Burbank, being a dictator and everything for him, dictating and everything like that. Go ahead, Steve.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see. How's my LMAC drifting this morning? It doesn't drift much. Once it gets warmed up, yeah, it stays pretty close. It's a good LMAC, AF68 with chrome feet on it. Looks pretty. I'm using a different receiver this morning. I'm using the FunCube dongle, it's called. One of the early renditions of SDR, and it's about the size of a thumb drive, and somehow they managed to fit a SMA antenna connector on it. But in some ways it sounds better than the SDR Play, but this morning it's kind of acting up a little bit, breaks into some kind of weird distortion, so who knows what's going to happen. Anyway, let's see. The big switch. Yeah, that I have a weak spot for those big switches. If I see one at a Hamfest, I tend to gravitate toward it. And I've got a bunch of them down here. And this is a double pole, double throw mounted on the wall, and the ladder line comes in right at the top of it and goes down to the center. And this thing, if there's a thunderstorm within 20 miles, I can kind of partially close it and watch it spark, but not for long. I don't like doing that. Might pit the contacts. KO4SSY and 4LQ.
N4LQ in the group, KO4SSY returner. Yeah, I need to finally sent me a picture of one of the things he had on the side of his place. I guess I need to get one of them, especially when I get my new setup. Wherever that's at, where I walk out the door, jerk ahead and walk away.
I've been fortunate. I reckon I've never unhooked ever, and so far, thanks to the good Lord, I've never had anything struck. And but I guess that's like a roll of the dice. Probably one of these days, if you don't, probably something will, but
I just rappers on, I reckon. I got some square stuff, people hooked up every time now. They do something different and get some real stuff struck, especially my KW1, I don't never leave it hooked
up anyway, so. And Terry just sat nowhere giggling every time his name's called. He just, you know, seeing how long, who all says something. Give him a second, Jimmy, after you this time, old buzzard. Yeah, let's see, what was it he said? That honey would gag a maggot, so his handle is maggot. Yeah, that's right. Alrighty, K4YBC to pick it up, KO4SSY.
KO4SSY, K4YBC, okay, real fine, Bill. I've got a metal roof on my house, and I had to ground the roof. I don't know why, but it was creating some problems, so I had to ground the roof. But everything worked out real good, and I guess if a light one struck my roof, it'd go to ground, I suppose. Anyway, Steve, your Elmac sounds good. I'm looking forward to getting mine back, hopefully Saturday. And I'll try to have mine on air here before too long, or next week sometime. Anyway, over to you, Rick. WK4R, K4YBC.
WK4R. Well, let's see, I forgot the name. I was in Shelby. Guess he's still working on an antenna. Or maybe he's waiting for it to dry up to work on an antenna, I don't know. Weather's looking there's at least one that's not going to. Maybe more. But need to make sure all's okay, and I got them hooked up. I just tend to slip I can't get everything unhooked. Go outside and cut coax, I guess. Anyway, WB4NKL, WK4.
WK4R, WB4NKL. Yeah, Billy, I guess you've been lucky. It'll get you one of these days. Then you'll have, something else to talk about on the radio, so it's not a bad thing. I've been hit a couple of times here, but I don't think either time really had much to do with the antennas that come on the power line and on the phone line. But I've got antenna I run here that comes in with the ladder line and the 2 alligator clips on the outside of the building. I got ceramic feed-throughs feeding through the wall, so I just take those alligator clips and unhook it outside the building, and it swings. It's got a rope tied to it. It swings about 3 foot away from the building. So I don't know if it would help to ground it or just leave it floating. It might not be as likely to attract lightning if it's not grounded. I don't know how that works. But if it gets hit, I'll just put a new one that burns the copper out of it. I could look around for one of them big switches, but they don't have quite the gap that this putting the unhooking does, 3 foot gap. Let's see. Yeah, looking. I got the van pretty much loaded there yesterday, and still got room for some Mark to put some stuff in. So, guess we'll get up here pretty early Friday morning and hit the road. Rick, you hadn't decided to come over yet or not. I don't guess you've looked at the weather forecast close enough to know whether you can come or not. Go ahead, Jimmy, K4 or JAL, WB4NKL. I guess you're hitting, Shelby.
WB4NKL, K4JAL. Yeah, I guess I'll go down there Friday about like you did. I may go back Saturday, but I doubt it. If it's real hot or real wet, I won't. I'm sort of a wimp when it comes to stuff like that. Anyway, I did like Steve. I switched over to the SDR plate to see if that'd help me a little bit, and then it didn't, so I went back to the PMR-8 and realized what was wrong was I forgot to put my hearing aids in this morning. A mind is a terrible thing to lose. Over to you, Chadwick. KN4RCL, K4JAL.
Well, Terry must not go to the show this morning. So I was hoping Steve was talking about him and Cliff last night was talking about you can go to a boys' school that keeps you from having so many negatives and positives. So I'm thinking that maybe pass your head around at Shelby and see if we can get up enough money to send Terry to school so it won't be so much negative. Go ahead, Steve.
Oh, yeah, N4LQ. I don't think it's that kind of negative. But I know what you're talking about. I had to change receivers. My FunCube dongle was not cutting the mustard. It was acting up, so I switched back over to the SDR play. And I'd probably use the PMR7, but I can't live stream that thing. Oh, I could, I guess, but it would have to be through a microphone and all that. And anyway, Cliff, I don't know about your theory on antenna grounding. But I always thought that if the antenna is grounded, that it keeps the atmosphere around it discharged so it doesn't build up and form a big strike. I think maybe there's something to that. But the the one time that I really got hit bad was when I unhooked the ladder line and threw it out on the wooden deck. So it was probably 6 or 8 feet away from anything, and lightning hit, and it jumped over to an AC outlet and got in the house and blew out everything, vaporized the antenna, feed line, and there wasn't anything left but a few shreds of insulation. So I think grounding it is best, and unhooking and grounding is my theory. And that's what this switch, it's a double pole switch, so when I throw it one way, it disconnects from the radio system, the antenna tuner, and connects it to ground. So it's a good hard connection. And it's big enough that there's probably a 2-inch gap between the antenna terminals and the balun. It goes to the balun. By the way, the balun is grounded anyway, so it stays at DC potential all the time, which is another good feature of a current balun and a loop. Of course, the loop is basically a big short, so that keeps both sides grounded. But I'm not going to attempt it. Anyway. Shelby weather for Friday and Saturday is Garden of Eden perfect. It looks like 80 to 81 degrees and sunny both days. That's the forecast, and I think we can pretty well count on that. So go ahead, Billy. KO4SSY N4LQ.
All right, N4LQ and the group KO4SSY returning. Yeah, I'm not sure. On the grounded or not grounded, which one would be more likely to get struck? Just not sure. I don't know where it would, I mean, you'd have to have a gap close enough to jump if it's not grounded. It looked like if it was grounded and it had enough voltage hit it, that could create another problem within itself if you got ground rods. I don't know. Maybe not. It looked like it could. In the mind's eye. Say I don't know. I never studied up on that stuff too much. I know enough. I'm not scared of it, per se. I got a healthy respect for it. I'll tell you what, you raised in a community with a guy that had been blowed off of a telephone pole and wasn't much of a man anymore, and had the hose blowed out the bottom of his feet and out his guts and just about everywhere. And he lived to tell us about it. We, lived around him most of my life. They'll ingrain something into you about electricity. And I've still been bit a few times because, like I say, if I've got something going on, I'm just 110 and I need to work on it. I ain't scared to work on it live to a degree. But anyways, probably not the, as the old saying would go, not the sharpest tool in the drawer, knife in the drawer or whatever, but that, oh well, just a little bite here and there. K4YBC to pick it up, KO4SSY.
KO4SSY, K4YBC. Okay, Bill. Yeah, I've got a healthy respect for electricity, too. I've seen what it can do. And I'm a little wary of it. Never had any problems here at the house except a big old oak tree out here in the front yard got hit one time. And I thought he'd killed it, but after a couple of years, it grew back out. So, but it's got a big old what would you call it, big old slash down the middle of the trunk. But it survived. I was working in a radio station up there in Spruce Pine one day, and then we got hit. Boy, that scared the life out of me. You know, you're sitting in there with all that equipment, and then bam. A little there, but I probably said a few choice words that might have went out over the airways. So, oh well. Well, gentlemen, I'm going to say 7-3s on this one. Everybody have a great day, and look for you tomorrow. And looking forward to Shelby. I think I'm just going to come down Saturday morning early, and so I'll probably be there Saturday morning. 7-3s, everybody have a good one. We'll talk to you tomorrow. WK4 or K4YBC?
WK4. Well, being cantankerous today. Well, lightning's been around my house several times over the years. One time it was sneaky. Had the radio and several items in the house that started going out gradually over about a 6-month period. They didn't get hit good enough to take them all out at one time. One time I was turning off and unhooking a radio, maybe some other stuff, and got my fingers tickled when it was lightning outside, trying to get everything undone. And once a neighbor of mine told me that my tower glowed pink. Well, I don't know how true that was, but he said it was glowing in a storm one time. I told him I was saving his house, but anyway. Still uncertain on Shelby. I got a friend in Hickory who's trying to get me to come down to his house and ride with him. I don't think he can make up his mind if he wants to go Friday or Saturday, and to be honest, I don't know if one day's better than the other or not. Guess it depends on your goals. So I have to think on that one. Oh, and the I have a Ameritron switcher at RCS-10. I got several different switchers, but anyway, it claims in the instructions, if you read them, that if you turn it off, it grounds everything to the #1 position. Now, I don't know if that's true. I don't know how well it would work, but I guess it's better than nothing. W4NKL, WK4.
WK4R, WB4NKL. Chad, looks like I'm just 300 cycles low there now. Getting closer. Yeah, that lightning can do funny stuff. Used to, there were salesmen coming around selling lightning rods to go in your house, and you don't see many of them anymore, but about all the old houses and barns had lightning rods on them. I do know a guy, a lightning rod salesman in Greenville. He's a ham. I guess he still installs them at places, but it's just something you don't see on too many modern houses. I remember a neighbor had lightning rods on his barn next to us there about 50 years back, and he got a direct hit to one of the lightning rods and saved the barn, I guess, or the barn didn't catch on fire, but where that went off to the side and the ground rod in the ground, it knocked all the dirt out from around it. There was a hole about the size of a 55-gallon barrel, and that lightning ground rod was just hanging down in that hole. So quite a bit of energy there. But I've got another antenna, Steve, my other 75-meter dipole, it's fed with ladder line. I've got a box on the side of the building. I've got a big old relay in there. It's got some pretty wide contacts, and I've got the back contacts go to a ground rod, and the front contacts come on inside the building, and I have to feed 12 volts out there to actuate it. So I've got one way and one the other. I got one grounded and one not grounded. So if I ever get a hit, I might be able to, you know, say which one worked the best. But it's hopefully you don't get any hits. But like I said, give you something else to talk about if it don't burn the ham shack down. Go ahead, Jimmy. K4JAL is WB4NKL.
WB4NKL in the group, K4JAL. Yeah, old Ben Franklin came up with a lightning rod and had them all over the world at one time, and they claimed they did a lot of good. It's gone out of fashion now, except on high-rise and stuff like that, but it's an interesting subject. I don't know whether it's LMAC land or propagation today, but I'm having a hard time on both the SDR play and PMR8 on signal quality. So I think I'll get out and go find something to eat and hopefully talk to you guys on another day. KN4RCL, K4JAL, over to you, 7-3.
Yeah, I'm going to say 73 and go get something on the 8-2 on this one here. So I'll go ahead and say 73 and everything on that. And we'll go this way. KN4RCL. Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, okay, 73, Chad, and well, you know, it's hard to prove anything about lightning because it just jumps around, and I got a bird bath out in the front yard. It keeps the elephants away. I have never had any trouble with elephants. Now, I do have some deer, but elephants stay away because of that bird bath. Anyway, I have a friend of mine down in Florida has got a DX contest station. It's kind of out in the country away from everybody, and he and a bunch of other guys run it online. There's nobody there, no house or anything. It's all remote control, but he put in an $8,000 ground system around that thing. He put big ground rods 20 feet long all the way around and bonded them with thermite, that welding stuff, you know, and he told me he spent $8,000 on that ground system. But I think it does the trick. Okay, I'm going to say 73s. Get ready for the old friends net. So, y'all have a great day. Take it away, Billy. KO4SSY, N4LQ.
Alrighty, N4LQ. KO4SSY returning. Yeah. Yes, boy, I mean, look at the time. I must have got in pretty late. No, it's only 8:30. Everybody just jumping ship early. Oh well. Well, you got to take into consideration too. Back then, Cliff, everything was just a two-wire system. There wasn't no real grounding to a lot of stuff, or the neutralization, anyways. And they claim that makes a big difference. So I don't know if it had anything to do with them taking more lightning strikes or whatever back in the day, or not. But yeah, all the old barns and stuff back in the day, you used to see those things strung across it. Well, I wouldn't say all of them. I say it's about like anything else. It's one of those things. If you had a good salesman, he could make you think you're gonna get struck at any time. That's what I would say it was. It's just something else to sell. Like I say, I mean, I've seen some stuff get struck around. Most everywhere I've ever been, though, I had trees that were taller than any of my systems, so I guess that makes a difference too. If you're out in the middle of a field and got wires strung up everywhere, you're more apt to get it if you're in amongst a bunch of trees. lot higher locations around you. I'd say you'd be pretty perceptive. Whatever the word I was looking for, where you're at, Cliff, with being up on top of that knob like that, it would make you susceptible, I guess is what I was looking for taking some electricity. But I've never been right on top of a hill. Well, yeah, I kind of was too back at home, but like I said, I still had a lot of trees around me that was quite a bit higher than my antenna system. Anyways, that's just my take on it. WK4R to pick it up, K04SY.
WK4. Well, speaking of lightning rods, I remember older homes back home who had lightning rods up on the house and looked good until you saw the TV antenna sticking up higher than the lightning rods were. I thought that was a little irony there, but anyway, I'm going to say 73 and get out, but I'll listen for a while, as long as I can. Have a good day. WB4NKL, WK4. Clear and listen.
Okay, Rick. Well, maybe get to see you down to Shelby there one day. I reckon we'll be there Friday and Saturday for a while till we get too hot and leave. And looking forward to it. Hopefully Steve's forecast will hold out. The weather will be nice. I guess I'll get out too, and I need to go and get a big drink of water and retune something here for the other frequency and check into the old friends net. Enjoyed it this morning, and Chad, say his name a couple more times. He might come in and talk to you. 73's KN4 RCL's WB4 NKL.
Terry, 73.
Yeah, I believe he just threw the carrier in there with you, Cliff. Somebody did. I bet it was him, just trying to make sure everybody knew he was around. And just being an old stick in the mud there.
He's probably gone, Bob. See ya.
73s, have a good day.